Alright, in honor of Patrick Ta launching the new cream foundation, I decided I was going to do a One Brand Focus Patrick Ta edition. So I pulled out all the products that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with the cream foundation. I have the shade Fair 1, which is described as a cool rose, and this is not the first time I've used it. So what has really been the most surprising to me is how creamy it is. Like, barely touch in, and it's moussey almost. So I'm going to just swirl my finger in the compact and apply this onto my moisturized but not primed skin, and I'm going to just take a flat brush and blend that down. I did not pick up their brush, but I might. You never know. And this blends out really easily. It's not a thick cream that I feel like I have to put a lot of pressure on my skin to blend out. And it feels lightweight on the skin. The texture to me is almost in between a stick foundation and a traditional liquid foundation. It's kind of like a hybrid of the two. And this shade is very fair, but it matches my neck really well. So you can definitely see I am a blank canvas, like ghost. Good thing spooky season is almost upon us because I am the ghost, right? And it's sitting really nicely on my skin. And as of right now, it does have a creamy finish. Right now, that's mostly because it's wet. So I have tried it a couple different ways. My favorite way is to use a brush and then just pat over with a sponge. And so this one layer gave me pretty light coverage. For me, that's all I'm really looking for. And that's kind of how the brand describes it as well, that it's not a full coverage product in their eyes. And until they launch a concealer, I'm just going in and using the one from Kosas. I use this shade 0.5. Falling concealer, I'm going to go in with She's Statuesque, the Bronze and Contour Duo. This is one of my favorite products. I've made a pretty significant dent, and I'm going to take that cream contour, sculpt the face. And this is a very agreeable cream formula. It works with every foundation I've tried it with, and it blends out super easy. I'm not having to put a lot of pressure onto my skin, and this shade is definitely pale girl friendly. And of course, the little lid protects the cream, since all the cream powder products have that feature. But I am going to do all of my creams before I jump into any of their corresponding powders, because that's just the way that I like to work. So that means next it is time for blush. And today I'm going to take She's That Girl, which is a nice peachy pink. Going to dive into the cream. These are pretty pigmented, so I'm going to be a little careful. I don't have any Patrick Ta brushes. I have so many brushes, so I didn't see the need, but you know, they do have brushes to offer. They do have a mascara, which I don't have. And I am an affiliate with Patrick Ta, so what that means is in the description, if you follow that link, you can get free shipping. I like to add a little to the chin and to the forehead, and now that all the cream-based products are on, everything looks super smooth. It's sitting really nicely on the skin. So this is my second time trying the cream foundation, and it looks better this time than it even did the first time. I did exfoliate my face. I noticed there was some dryness on my nose, and there still is. Of course, my nose is not happy because I put a hole in it, so I need to put on some lip balm because my lips are terrifying. Alright, going back into the foundation and powder. So all the powders in the cream foundation compacts do run 1 to 2 shades lighter than the foundation itself, and the powder is very hard pressed, but it is a fine powder, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, especially this variation, because it is straight up, it's just straight up white. And while I realize I am also straight up white, I don't want things to look too George Washington and powdery. And this is getting hard pan already, and it's only the second time that I've used it. So I'm being a little aggressive in the pan just so I can pick up some product. I think the powder is probably necessary for longevity. I would say that is a very safe bet, just based on how creamy the foundation is. Even just sitting there in the pan, it looks like it's gonna go somewhere. And it's interesting that the powder is hard panning because they knew that it was going to be working in conjunction with a cream. Surely there would be some way to negate that, but maybe not. So you can see that completely took away any of the sheen and shine except for where I didn't place it. So that's your mattifying and longevity step. And then over to She's Statuesque. I love this bronzer. I really like the shade. And it's definitely warm compared to its companion contour. But this is definitely a go-to when I travel because my contour and my bronzer all in one compact. And I need to warm up my skin a little bit as well. I appreciate it matching my skin tone so well. It definitely blanked me out. Little bronzer on the nose, never hurt nose one. Never hurt no one. My dad jokes are really bad jokes. I'm bronzing up that chin. And I know it's recommended by Patrick to use the powder blush and then the cream on top. And that is a great way to keep that dewy, yummy shine to your skin. However, if you're going for longevity, just switch up the routine and add the cream first and the powder on top. And if you want to add that dewiness back, you could even sandwich. So do cream, powder, cream. This blush is gorgeous. And I have both Patrick Ta's eyeshadow palettes. I have the original, which has all your neutrals and your bronzies and your golds, and then Major Dimension 2 is all your pinks and burgundies and rose golds, which is going to be perfect for fall coming up. So what I'm going to do is use Major Dimension 2, and on a fluffy brush I'm going to take this pale shade right here into the crease. Now this color shows up on me because I am so pale, but if you're darker than me, this would be a good shade to go all over with to prep your eye for eyeshadow. It helps me tie in the blush. And what I'm going to do is take the powder from the blush in that same fluffy brush and apply that also in my crease. I'm going to blend that out to the temples and meet up with the eyeshadow. Just kind of blend it into nothing out there. So everything's all connected. I'm going to try to keep it light because I know it is easy to go deep and dark with this palette. So I'm going to take the shade right next to this one. It's a little neutral, but it also has that pinky red in it. And this is going all over my lid. Not being too precise, just working that in. These colors are pigmented, but they blend really nicely. And if you're just working within the palette, it's going to be a really cohesive look. And I'm going to take the shimmer shade right above the shade I just used and gently pat that over the entire lid. These shades are, my lights are probably too bright. So pretty. Definitely like party glitter, make an impact kind of glitter. They're multi-dimensional. And I'm going to just barely tap and barely tap just so I have a blend, because I don't mind having my shimmer come up to my brow, but if you don't like that, you can just stop at the lid. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to take a small dome brush and go into this gold and work this into the inner corner. That's going to be a big statement pop of color. It's like strawberry lemonade look right here. I like to flick it up into the scoop just so I get a nice blend. Then I'm going to repeat the process on the lower lash line. I'm going to take this color underneath. Then going to add the blush to blend out that first color. And then very last, the cream shade that started it all. So you basically work in reverse on your way back. Alright, next I'm going to line the eyes, and this is the Patrick Ta, obviously, but this is the Precision Gel Liner in the shade Burgundy. I love this shade. Gonna give myself just a baby wing. These are creamy and long lasting. I don't have to press down super hard to get a lot of pigment and payoff. I'm just using a tiny little KJH and Spectrum number 21 brush. And so you blend, you add more liner, you blend, you add more liner until it looks how you want it. So I'm going to make sure that I tight line with that, as well as hit my waterline, which really changes the look. Right, before I go into brows, I need to brush them through, make sure there's no shadow in there, because once I put this next product on, they're not going to go anywhere. This is the Major Brow Lamination Gel. You either love it or you hate it. It's not my favorite brow gel, so you want to brush your hairs back, then brush them forward and where you want them to sit. Sit them down and then just leave them to dry. For a lot of people, this gets flaky, but for many, it's their holy grail. So, just depends on, I guess, how much you're willing to work with your brows, because it does take work. I like to do the gel first and then go in with not the burgundy eyeliner. Let's not do that, but let's do the Major Brow Defining Pencil. And I have the shade Blonde. They do not have an auburn shade, but I really like how this is shaped more like an oval opposed to a triangle. This is a cool blonde. There's no red in it at all, which for me is not good, but if you're a blonde, it's definitely a win. I can get away with it because my roots are blonde. So this brow pencil is really easy to use. It's not too soft, not too waxy. No complaints on the brow pencil. they also have a brow gel that's in like a soap kind of form, and I don't find that I need to use both, so I won't, but there is that option. And for me, I just like to take a Auburn brow gel, add some warmth into my brows. This is the Kosas Airbrow. I also don't have the Patrick Ta mascara. I know he has one, I just don't have it, so I'm going to go in with my own mascara. Alright, I did the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara on the top and the Charlotte Tilbury Dream Pop Burgundy mascara on the bottom. Don't have a Patrick Ta lip liner. I just line my lips using the Rare Beauty lip liner in the shade Humble because it's pretty close to my lips. And the only Patrick Ta lipstick I have is a super bright pink. So I'm going to barely dab that on there. This is the shade She's Hard to Get and comes in multiple colors. These are really great lipsticks. And then I'm going to go over it with the Major Volume Plumping Gloss in the shade 2CCs. These have a beautiful finish on the skin, and I can immediately feel the plumping effect. I, however, do not like that they smell and taste like Christmas. And it's not just cinnamon, it's maybe clove, like something that reminds me so much of Christmas. And I love Christmas, but I don't like to taste Christmas, like pine needles and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I wish they would just make it minty. It'd be a lot better that way, but I hate the taste. Ugh. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright, I don't have his setting spray, but if I did, I would give everything a good spray. The powder, I know that it is marketed to go in your T-zone, and that's really the only place where I feel like I look dry is in my T-zone. So just like literally right through here, especially around my nose and around my mouth. Like it's showing my age. But where I didn't put the powder, it still has a beautiful glow, and Patrick Ta is all about that glow, so it's a little perplexing on the finishing powder there, why it is so matte. But if you go over it with a setting spray, which I will, I'm just going to use the one from Half Magic. So, quick rundown and dirty. Do I think you need to go out and buy the new cream foundation? As with everything, it depends on what you like and what you prefer. It has a very hefty price tag, and I am fortunate enough to receive it in PR. These two formulas could not be more different. They are so polar opposite from each other that it is just, I guess, a shock to my system, aka my face system, because it's like, ooh, cream foundation, I need it because I'm dry, thank you, and then it's like, powder. It's like, imagine SpongeBob in the scene where he's like hanging out with Sandy and he's like trying not to have water. He's like, I need it. That's how my face feels with this powder. So that's kind of a bummer for half of the product to be something that I really don't like all that much. If it were more akin to the Kosas powder, or maybe even like something like the Huda Beauty powder that had a little bit of luminosity to it, it would have made more sense. I see where they were going, but for everything else in his vibe, it just didn't make sense. And take all that with a grain of salt, because that's just how it reacts to my skin, okay? But what I absolutely recommend would be the powder and cream blush duos. Absolutely would recommend the contour and bronzer duos. 1000%. Also, this new eyeshadow palette is really beautiful if you like these tones and going into fall. It is the vibe. So I just had to do something pink and a little poppy because I'm not quite ready to get rid of summer. I feel like it rained here all summer, so I didn't get one really. So, all right, that's it from me for this one brand focus of Patrick Ta Beauty. If there's anything that you might have a question about that I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. As always, my comments are a safe place. So thank you for watching. As always, be blessed and be kind, and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you soon. Bye.